We're going to switch it up a little bit here. Showbit has someone so special walking past on the carpet, and we don't want to miss him. So let's go to Showbit.
Oh.
All right.
I have no idea who this is.
So, of course...
At this point, I can't tell if Nintendo is making a handheld console or another mobile phone, because the strings attached with this system, just to get the full Nintendo Switch experience and full utility out of it, is insane. It's no longer enough for you just to purchase the device. Nintendo wants more. In previous videos, we've discussed already all the terms and conditions that come with purchasing this device. If you haven't seen them yet, I recommend you watch this one or this one, and I'll leave links down below. Hell, in general, if you want to keep up to date with Nintendo shenanigans or any other corporation, be sure to hit subscribe. We are so close to 80K, it's insane. Like I said, once we get to 100K, I get that silver play button and you get the face reveal. But if we hit 80K, I will mow your lawn. I'm not even joking. Well, I mean, I can't obviously mow 80,000 lawns at once, but I will physically mow a lawn. Now, if you want the weed eating, if you want the hedging, if you want your leaves blown, that's gonna be extra. We're gonna need 90K for that.
They're gonna dig me a pool this Christmas. They're gonna landscape my lawn this Christmas. They're gonna cook me up some tacos this Christmas. Those illegals in my yard.
Anyways, like in previous videos I've discussed, Nintendo's new user agreements doesn't allow for you to file class action lawsuits against them. The user agreement also allows for your Nintendo Switch camera to collect data on you and footage. And the user agreement also allows for them to brick your system if you do anything they don't want. And now we've reached the point where Nintendo wants even more.
I want your soul.
I know, that seems hard to believe. After all of that, all those strings attached, you'd think, okay, that's it, right, Nintendo? You don't need anything more from me. Now let me play my Switch in peace. Nintendo says, no, you dumb Who the hell do you think you are? Well, I've been playing you since the 80s, Nintendo. We don't give a shit. You've been playing this many years. We need more info from you. How much more info, Nintendo? More! What info is that? Your phone number. I'm not even kidding. Doug Bowser pulled off an Elon Musk. If you really love me, then you'll give me your number. Nintendo Switch 2 game chat requires a phone number to use.
I want your soul.
This is insane. Okay, I don't know how to tell people this, but if you want to use a two-step verification system, that's understandable. Still a bit risky in my opinion, but to require a phone number for voice chat, and you're already paying Nintendo a subscription fee to use that, now you also have to have a registered phone number if you want to use game chat? This is insane! I'm sorry, but this is just ridiculous. Not only have they monetized a button on your system, but you're also supposed to have a phone number on top of the subscription fee just to use it? Is this Nintendo unintentionally promoting Discord? Because that's what it seems like to me. At this point, you may as well just use Discord and completely opt out of paying Nintendo money for their stupid game chat service that should be free and should have always existed since the Switch 1. And believe me, I don't think it's a slippery slope fallacy to say that soon, within a few years, Nintendo's gonna require you to scan your physical license or ID or show a birth certificate just to prove you're a real person. Because believe me, Nintendo's not ensuring you're a real person for security. They're ensuring you're a real person so your info is actually worth money to sell. Well, you know, for legal reasons, I'm not gonna say sell, but they can certainly share that info. And the most valuable info is the info from people that exist and not burner accounts. Because believe it or not, millions upon millions of people are perfectly okay with having their ID, phone number, and tax ID number all given to whatever corporation selling them a product, because their desire to own said product transcends their desire to keep their info private and secure. It is the age of consumerism after all. Plus, not to mention with the amount of narcissism these days, lots of people are very careless with their personal life or personal info. They don't care if they're nothing more than another number and stat for these corporations to use to continue to manipulate markets. They want their Nintendo, goddammit! What's more too is you gotta pay them for the privilege to give away your private info, which is insane. I don't know how corporations do this. I don't know how Elon pulled it off on Twitter, where he convinced people to hand over all their private info, and with money too. At the very least, you can monetize and make money on that platform, but you ain't gonna monetize Nintendo. And if you do, expect to be jailed for it. And with you giving your number to them, it's not gonna be very hard for them to find you. If you plan on using game chat on Nintendo Switch 2, you'll need a phone number. That news has been spotted in the official terms for the feature. Nintendo doesn't go into detail about why a phone number is required for game chat on Switch 2, but the reason seems fairly clear. The company always takes the protection of its players seriously, okay, especially younger ones. If someone uses game chat in a nefarious way, it's a bit easier for Nintendo to block them and prevent them from returning. Okay, see, this reason is quite fair. Obviously, you don't want kids talking to older adults online, but isn't that what the parental controls are for anyway? Why does it still require a phone number? And most kids have phones, you know? It's also not hard to just generate a phone number through several different apps. Now, yes, this measure can protect kids, but this measure is a double-edged sword. While you are ensuring the security and safety of younger people, you're still giving Nintendo a direct way to ensure you can't ever subscribe to Nintendo services ever again. If they catch on to you modding your system or opening it up or adding custom screensavers, they'll brick your Switch and they will also have access to your number. So whenever you try to sign up again, they'll know exactly who you are. Hell, some of this is probably traced directly through your IP as well. There are many ways to work around that, sure, but likewise, there's plenty of other ways to ensure you can protect children without a required phone number to be put into your system. Nonetheless, this doesn't change the fact that game chat will require a phone number, which is still absurd no matter how much you try to use kids as an excuse. Because this opens up the possibility for people to fuck with you if they wanted. Claim there was harassment, claim there was quote-unquote cyberbullying, and get your account banned. Real fast, real easy. I fully expect this to happen to DSP Gaming, by the way. It's definitely going to happen to DSP Gaming.
Someone socially engineered my account on Walmart.com, and through basically very basic information, what it must have been, because it certainly wasn't anything crazy, they got access and canceled my orders. So now I don't have a Switch 2. I love it.
You know, Nintendo took Mike's quote of no half measures a little too serious there. In general, any company, any app, anything I purchase that asks me for more than just an email address is a big no-no. If two-step verification is an option, that's the best way to go about it. But forcing people to hand their phone numbers over so they can use game chat, it's not enough that you're already charging them for that? You're already collecting their info through the Nintendo Switch camera. You already got their credit card number on file. Now you need their phone number too? That's why any game on Steam that requires a phone number from me gets no purchase. I don't buy into this bullshit that it's for security reasons. It absolutely is not for security reasons. It's to collect your data. Either way, we're talking about a phone number that's required for a basic feature and utility of the service. That's what's puzzling here, okay? Because you don't need a phone number to use game chat on Steam. You don't need a phone number to use any game chat services on Xbox Live or PSN. Hell, it doesn't require a subscription to use it either. Nintendo would have been better off just making this an option rather than a requirement. Because as it stands, Nintendo's already asking too much for a basic feature that's been demanded out of them since the Switch 1. And not only have they finally given it to you at a fee, but they also gave it to you with all these extra requirements. Because once they ban your account with said attached number, anytime you want to make an account with that same number ever again, you're not going to be able to. Now, the exact policy reads as a feature of Nintendo Switch 2 that lets a group of up to 12 people chat while playing games. Really, just 12? Jeez, you might as well just get a Discord. What the hell? If you connect a compatible USB-C camera sold separately, you can video chat while you play. Up to 4 people can video chat at the same... 4? Wait. Up to 4 at the same time? Really? The little Nintendo Switch tablet can only handle 4 people? No wonder 1 gig extra of that RAM is reserved specifically for game chat. It must be really taxing for this device. To use online services, you must create a Nintendo account and accept the related agreement. The Nintendo account privacy applies, internet connection, and Nintendo Switch Online membership required. Mobile phone number registration required to use game chat. Children must get approval from a parent or a guardian via the Nintendo Switch Parental Controls app to use game chat. Some online services may not be available in all countries. Find out more about game chat on the official Nintendo Switch 2 website. Yeah, okay, that's nice. Jesus Christ, why would I ever play online on this thing? It sounds like a headache. And it's so limited. God, I can jump into a Discord server with a bunch of my friends and we don't even have to be playing the same games. And I can be in a group chat with far more than 4 or 12 people. And I can watch what they're streaming, or I can see, or I can hear the music they're playing, or I can stream my game and they can see that. I mean, it's free and it's got way more utility. What is the point of this service? And now they want my phone number too. What a fucking abysmal online service. They're really charging you for this, and they want your number. And this is the limitations, and it's very restrictive, and you can get in trouble quite easily. Why? As a grown-ass adult, why would I buy this? It genuinely seems like the least fun place to be playing games online. With how often data breaches happen, the last thing you'll want is your credit card info and your phone number associated with accounts, because once they have that shit, you've been compromised. Now keep in mind, the chances of that are not that high, and of the millions upon millions of people's info that they will steal, the chances or likelihood of yours being one of the selected numbers isn't that high either. I'm not trying to fearmonger anyone, but I just do not see why it would be required of you to give Nintendo that much info to play on their little system. They're already price gouging you like assholes. Now they want you to compromise your info? Come on. Now, of course, there's obvious ways to get around this, but those obvious ways of getting around it also make the entire requirement just as pointless, no? We don't need Nintendo to big brother us, and we especially don't need Nintendo to big brother the children of parents. It seems like the most pointless requirement Nintendo has put into their user agreement so far. It should remain optional. Perhaps maybe I'm, putting on unnecessary paranoia, but as someone who had their 3DS bricked on them by Nintendo in the past, I don't really trust this company. Because if there's one thing I know about Nintendo is that you don't actually own the device when you purchase it. The only time you actually really own a Nintendo device is when they drop support for it. For most, it's not a big deal, and I can understand why it wouldn't be a big deal to you, but I'm just not comfortable with handing over my phone number just to game chat. It's unnecessary everywhere else. Why do I have to do it here? Phone number should never be required for more than 2-step verification, and even then, that should also be an option. I mean, they're asking this info out of you like they're delivering you the best game chat service on the planet, when in reality, they are delivering you the most basic, bare bones, outdated system that should not only have been free, but should have been there an entire console generation ago. So, just letting you guys know what's in the terms. It's up to you to decide if it's worth it or not. Anyways, I'll be streaming Friday evening, 12 p.m. Pacific time. Be sure to be there. We're going to be going over a lot of good stuff. That being said, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to, and I'll see you in the next video.
Fritango sucks ass.